Hello and welcome, beloveds, to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. MumbiSeraki, reporting live and direct from Kenya, where we are seriously going through our winter season. I think it's like 19 degrees here, which is cold, It's cold for black people. It's cold for melanated people. Thanks to every single person that supports us on our Patreon and our PayPal accounts. We would not be able to do our show without your support. We appreciate love each and every one of you. And thanks to everyone that has subscribed to both the Dr. Mumbi Show and the Dr. Mumbi Live channel. Be sure to subscribe to both. We're kind of, playing dodgeball with YouTube, but soon in the next couple of months, we will be rolling out very new programming, especially on Dr. Mumbi Live, so it will be amazing. But for now, we're trying to balance the news on both, just so that we get the word out. There's a lot that's happening. I mean, there's a global fight for the narrative of what's happening and for the narrative of history, because he who controls information, he who controls the narrative, controls everything. Now, very interesting story coming out of Senegal. You gotta love them, where Senegal has banned all EU travelers in a retaliation for the flight blacklist. Now, I told you guys that the European Union had released a list of 50 nations that it deemed safe to travel to the European Union. Only 4 African nations made it, basically Rwanda, Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia. Senegal was not on that list. And so far, Senegal has allegedly recorded over 7,000 cases of coronavirus with 121 deaths. That was as of early July. But after the snub on the list of countries deemed safe, Senegal has reacted to the announcement by issuing a retaliating order. So on Wednesday last week, they announced that it would not open its airspace to travelers from European Union countries. Whoa, that's brave. Damn. I was kind of questioning that Senegalese president, but now I'm like, what? That's a very bold move to take, especially considering that 50 to 60% of all African nations are so heavily dependent and reliant on Muzungu tourism, on that foreign dollar. And that's why everything that has happened with Corona and, with the coronavirus has actually been a blessing in disguise for our people. And please check the prophetic update I did on that a couple of weeks ago. It really has been a blessing in disguise. And so, what Senegal said, that it would not reopen its airspace, and the announcement was actually made by the Senegalese Air Transport Minister without any further details. Now, the Central African nation of Gabon also announced similar reciprocal ban for EU citizens. What? Come on, Africa. Yes, let's see more. So these repatriation, that's why I keep telling you guys. Sorry, my words are getting caught up in my mouth. Like, the window is going to be small and narrow. So take it when it comes and take it when you can. Because you see now, the world isn't even just reopening up to the way it was. Who can believe that less than, 6 months ago, people were just traveling willy-nilly back and forth wherever they wanted? And now there's all this kind of stuff going on. But it's a blessing for our people, trust me. So the Central African nation of Gabon also announced that, it would not be allowing any European citizens into its, airspace. This is amazing. We're going to wait and see if any if any other African nations take such a similar bold step, what had happened is that a lot of African nations are reopening their airspaces to international travelers, even though it's those same international travelers that brought coronavirus to the continent in a hope to economically revive. And that's why this shows you just how, the system has been top-sided. The system has been out of balance, where you have to allow everyone in because of a paper money system, a fake economic system, but they can tell you, oh, you can't come in because, your people may infect us. Wow, this is really interesting. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. And the funny thing is, barely a week before the Senegalese air transport minister made this statement, the European Union had actually urged Senegal to lift a ban on basically the country because of street protests, and they had even released a statement. And this is where I say, do you see us? Have you seen any African nation releasing a statement? Oh, the riots in Belgium are too much, or this and that. Never, because presidents are puppets. And so, they said the EU considers that the ban on demonstrations is unhelpful, and authorizes the lift of the ban on demonstrations and on the curfew. And they said that they support the rights of the people. So they're always commenting on everyone's business. And what had happened is that when Senegal tried, there were great protests in Senegal to lift the ban, and the government actually had to bow to pressure and lift it, which shows you when people come together and they say enough is enough, the government always responds. So stop being so afraid, beloveds. Otherwise, that fear is just going to lead you right into the pit of hell. But congratulations to Gabon and Senegal for taking a stand. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Do you hope your country will do the same? I hope Kenya. I know Kenya. I mean, seriously? I don't know. Anyway, tuko pamoja.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Hello and welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. MumbiSeraki. How are you doing? How's everything going? I pray you're well in all your ways and that you are living your absolute most amazing life. Now, something happened a couple of weeks ago, and I kind of missed the story, but I was like, yo, TBT, because it's really quite interesting, where Gabon, former French colony, appointed a British-born white minister, literally named Mr. White, to be the minister of forestry. And this was after a lot of controversy, but of course the move has raised a lot of eyebrows, raised a lot of questions. And before people say, oh no, why can't a black person do that job? Oh my God, why are they hiring a Caucasian as an African minister? So many presidents do it, by the way, if you were to count. And let's not forget that even in Europe, in France, for example, remember there's that Senegalese woman who was hired to be like the public spokesperson of the French government, which apparently is a huge deal. So, it happens in other countries. But now the whole situation with this is that, and I don't know, the jury is out on whether I agree or disagree with Bongo on this one. Because the reason he did it is quite clever, but let me give you guys a story and then you guys can judge for yourself. So basically, the British environmentalist, he's called Lee White. He's about 69 years old. No, sorry, he's 53 years old, and he first settled in Gabon 30 years ago. And his whole thing has been supporting wildlife and supporting the conservation of wildlife, etc., etc. Now, he was appointed as Gabon's new forestry minister, charged with tackling a high-profile wood smuggling scandal that involves the Chinese and the French. And, White actually gained Gabon nationality about 10 years ago. And the move is basically seen by, expert analysts as a slap in the face of the French. And I'll be explaining that in a little while. But basically what happened is that during the former, Minister of Forestry's tenure, about 5,000 cubic meters of a sacred tree called the Kevazingo wood, which was cut down. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? And the wood that was cut down is worth about 7 million euros. 5,000 cubic meters. Guy! And then later on, it was found in 2 Chinese-run warehouses in the capital, Libreville. And actually, there were about 200 containers eventually that were found scattered across, and this happened only earlier this year, scattered across Libreville. And a lot of people believed that the vice president and the minister of forestry were involved, and that they were taking advantage of Ali Bongo's poor health. Now, in case you've forgotten or been under a tree, because I covered this story a couple of months ago, Ali Bongo actually suffered a stroke about 6 months ago, and he's been recovering. He suffered the stroke while he was in Saudi Arabia. Then he was rushed to Morocco for treatment. Then he went to London, I think, for further treatment. And I think then he went back to, I don't know. Anyway, he didn't go to Gabon for treatment, and that just alone tells you a lot about Gabon, right? And so while he was out of town, it is believed that that's when the vice president and his, and the foreign minister kind of took advantage. And what happened is that once they discovered these 200 containers at different locations, this whole scandal blew up, and it led to the sacking of the vice president. His name is Pierre Maganga Musavu, I won't say what it means in Kenya, and Forestry Minister Guy Bertrand Mapangu. And it also led to the suspension of 13 senior civil service, civil society staff, etc., etc.